Good evening from the Pacific Northwest. Well, where I'm in the Pacific Northwest, but we are based in the West Coast of the United States. Today, we are in the 19th class of Abhidhamma study, and we will learn Supra-mundane consciousness, Lokuttara-Citta, part 1. And our teacher is Venerable Pariyatti Lingara. Today, here in the US West Coast is January 25th, 2023. We are here at 6 p.m. now, and we quickly show you, for those of you who are new to this Abhidhamma study, just recapping on what we usually do on every Wednesday Pacific time. From 5:30 to 6 p.m., we do revision and discussion, followed by the lecture between 6 to 7, and then we stop the live streaming, and then we will proceed to question and answer, and we do sharing merits. And this is our Zoom information if you want to join, and this you can join us anytime. Okay, so Bande, please lead us to opening the class with Namo Tassa, Bande.
Okay, let's pay homage to the Buddha, reciting Namo Tassa 3 times together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Thank you so much, Bande. Please teach us today Supra-mundane consciousness, Bande, part 1. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes, today's our studies about the supra-mundane consciousness. Supra-mundane consciousness is called Lokuttara-Citta. Lokuttara-Citta, as we have learned about the definition or the translation of the the Pali translation, or if we refer to the Pali word, Lokuttara-Citta mean if we translate the Lokuttara-Citta into English, it is supra-mundane consciousness. So for this name, we already mentioned that the classification of the Lokiya-Citta and Lokuttara-Citta. So Lokiya-Citta, how many Lokiya-Citta in Abhidhamma?
81.
Right, 81 Lokiya-Citta. So that Lokiya-Citta are classified into 3 types based on what?
Kusala, Vipaka, or Kriya.
Kusala, Vipaka, Kriya. And on the other hand, what is the base to classify?
Somanasa, Vipaka.
Yeah, actually, the plane of existence, we refer to the loka, right? The loka. So that's why these 81 consciousness are called Lokiya, Kama Loka, and the consciousness and mostly arise in the sense-sphere realm of existence, which is called Kama Loka, is Kama Vachara-Citta, and Rupa Vachara-Citta, Arupa Vachara-Citta. So in this way, in relation to the classification of plane of existence, Loka. So if we talk about the Buddha's Pachu, Loka we do, and the Loka we do, that is, the one who knows the world reference to the Kama Loka, Rupa Loka, Arupa Loka, like this. In the same way here, Lokiya consciousness related to the Loka. So the consciousness are also classified according to the plane of existence usually connected to them. So if you remember in this way, the classification become easier. So Lokiya among the 81 Lokuttara-Citta, sense sphere consciousness, how many?
54.
Right, 54. And Rupavajara,
15.
15. Arupavajara,
12.
12. So how many jhana consciousness?
27.
27. Very good. 27. So if we classify the 27 jhana consciousness, so into the according to the types, according to the the level of the jhana. So first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and fifth jhana. According to Abhidhamma, we have to know that Abhidhamma classification have the up to the fifth jhana, 5 kinds of jhana. But if you read the sutta, only 4 jhana explained, up to the 4th jhana, and first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and 4th jhana only. You cannot find the 5th jhana in the sutta explanation. So what makes which jhana are combined together? You remember?
Second and third jhana combined into the second jhana.
Okay, so second and third jhana regarded as the second jhana, like this. Okay, so this is just a little bit review about the Lokuttara-Citta. So today, unlike the Lokuttara-Citta, the consciousness is called Lokuttara-Citta. That Lokuttara-Citta, as we have mentioned in the formal class, so Loka and Uttara, two are together. Loka and Uttara. So Uttara is going beyond or transcending. So as long as one cannot go beyond the Loka, that person will be reborn again and again in the realm of existence, which is called the samsara. Samsara. The cause or karma, already explained that. The cause, how many karma?
28 karma will cause rebirth.
Right. So altogether 29, right? Among the 29, the 28 karma can be the cause to be reborn in any realm of existence, the respective realm of existence. So as long as one have the defilement, which is called kilesa, and that person will reborn according to the karma. Then, so here the supra-mundane consciousness is present, the consciousness transcending the world. So transcending the world. This consciousness have to work off the eradicating or removing the defilements so that it can transcend, it can go beyond the loka. Otherwise, it cannot go beyond the loka because the defilements cause the karma to be reborn, cause to karma to produce the result in the plane of existence in the world only. Okay, so let's see the Lokuttara-Citta. So do you know how many Lokuttara-Citta we?
8 or 40.
Okay, 8 or 40. Yeah, 8 is in brief, or 40 is in large. Okay, so this one is already finished. This slides we will review. So that to make sure that we make sure you remember. So this table is about the classification of individual. So Pukala, individual. So Puthujana, 4% are called Puthujana. So still they could not remove or they could not eradicate their defilements. And they are regarded as the Puthujana. So the Puthujana are classified into 4 types, depending on what is that? The basis.
Depending on the roots.
Okay, yeah, Paṭisandi, right? Depending on the Paṭisandi, the rebirth consciousness, we can say the rebirth consciousness. So the four individuals, they don't have the same rebirth consciousness. So for the last one, Dogati Ahituka. So here Ahituka, but Dogati awful state. To be reborn in an awful state, what kind of karma can be the cause?
Unwholesome.
11 unwholesome.
Right, akusala, if we identify, 11, unwholesome can be. The cause to be reborn, the unwholesome, the awful state. So if the person reborn in the awful state, and the consciousness of the consciousness at the moment of rebirth linking, so Paṭisandi moment, do you remember? It's maybe a little bit different. That which consciousness take place at that moment?
Upeka Sahakata Satirana.
Santirana.
There are two types. Which one?
Akusala.
Akusala Vipaka.
Vipaka, right. Akusala, Vipaka, Abhidhamma, Sandirana. In which group of consciousness can we find?
Ahituka.
Ahituka.
Right. And specifically, which one?
Unwholesome.
Akusala Ahituka Vipaka Citta.
Right. The first group of Ahituka. You know that we need to review. So yeah, otherwise, you will forget everything. So reviewing means before you come to class and you need to review. And in the class, you need to recall in the mind. In the Abhidhamma study, the concentration is very important. If you have a concentration to focus on what we have learned, we already learned the several weeks. So there you need to recall, dividing into the consciousness according to the part by part, given by the Abhidhamma Sangha and then this lecture. Then, so if we consider that, okay, so akusala vipaka upeka sahagata santirana, this is the rootless consciousness. That's why that is called rootless individual, because the rebirth linking consciousness is one of the rootless consciousness. There's no root at the moment of rebirth linking Paṭisandi. And also, that individual is regarded in the plane of existence, the Dogati, awful plane of existence. That's why, by the name Dogati Ahituka Putujana, who is Paṭisandi, is the Akusala Vipaka Upeka Sahagata Santirana. Okay, so the second one, Sukati Ahituka, only the word Sukati changing. So why he is called Sukati? Can you give the explanation why?
Because his Paṭisandi is the Kusala Ahituka Kusala Vipaka.
Okay.
Upeka Sahakata Satirana.
Kusala Vipaka, Upeka Sahagata Santirana, Kusala Vipaka, right? So why we call the Sukati mean referring to this kind of person can be reborn in how many planes of existence?
2 planes, human and deep, the first Diva realm.
Right. So 2 planes of existence we can find the human realms and the Jatu Maharaja. Right. So the human and the first Deva realm is called the Sukati, blissful plane. That's why that individual being born in the blissful plane of existence, Sukati, and his Paṭisandi consciousness is rootless, still rootless, because it is belong to the Ahituka group. So that person is called Sukati Ahituka individual. And yeah, that Drihituka become easier. So double-rooted individual. So what are the Paṭisandi consciousness of that person, that kind of individual? Can you identify? What can be?
It's
This?
the 4 Jnana Vipayuka Kusala.
Right. Oh,
Yes.
Vipaka, it should be right. Yeah, all rebirth linking consciousness, Paṭisanti consciousness are belong to the Vipaka group because they are the resultant of the wholesome or unwholesome. Yeah, wholesome and unwholesome are cause and resultants. So this one, the Paṭisanti consciousness is for any of the four jnana vipayuta consciousness belong to the resultant consciousness, sense sphere resultant. So if you can keep this number and this classification in mind, the Abhidhamma study become kind of fun, that you can get you can find the happiness considering about the classification. So sending your interest into the different table and different classification always become kind of enjoyment. Okay, you can enjoy Abhidhamma study, right? So why is called the double rooted? The consciousness is associated with the two roots. Can you identify what are the roots? Two roots here.
Alopa adosa.
Alopa adosa.
Right, alopa and adosa. But in the absence of jnana, jnana same as the amoha root. So only alopa and adosa can be accompanied at the moment of a descending. That is why he is double rooted. And for the triple rooted, the jnana sampayutta. Any of the jnana sampayutta resultant consciousness can be descending of that person. Okay, so for Tihetuka Puthujjana, we will talk about that. So for the Tihetuka Puthujjana, if an individual of, so which realm of existence that Tihetuka can be found?
27 realms.
Kama Sukati.
Except
Seven realms.
except the four woeful state and Asanya-sata, right? Yeah, Asanya-sata also we cannot find that one. And also have another realm of existence is interesting. If you can keep some information, you can connect each other and you can formulate to have an answer. The Suddhavasa. Do you remember the Suddhavasa? The 5 pure abodes. How many individuals can be found?
3 types of individuals.
Yeah, 3 highest individual. We can find only 3. So it means Tihetuka Puthujjana cannot be in the pure abode, Suddhavasa. So if we count the exception, the plane of existence for the Tihetuka, so 4 woeful state, Asanya-sata become 5, and the 5 pure abode, Suddhavasa. So 10, we cannot find this one. And okay, so the Tihetuka Puthujjana being born by the consciousness with the triple rooted alopa, adosa, and amoha. So as amoha, same as the jnana, right? Same as the jnana. His Paṭisanti movement is connected to the knowledge, jnana. That's why he can attain mega or phala or jhana if he practice the concentration meditation. He will attain he can attain jhana, if it is successful. And if he practice a vipassana meditation, he can attain the mega and phala. They're kinds of person. And the lower individual or Dogati Ahetuka, Sukati Ahetuka, Drihetuka, they cannot attain any attainment of jhana or megaphala. Although they try to practice, although they practice, okay, they cannot attain. So only among the 4 Puthujjana individual, the worldling individuals, only the highest one of Tihetuka individual, triple rooted individual can attain the spiritual achievement, the meditative attainment, when that person is successful in the samatha and vipassana meditation. Okay, so if he practices concentration, he will attain jhana. We already explained that. So today we are going to talk about the vipassana meditation. If the Tihetuka Puthujjana, triple-rooted individual, practice vipassana meditation. So let me introduce about the vipassana meditation, because we already introduced the different kinds of meditation in relation to the attainment of 5 material sphere and immaterial sphere jhana, how they can be attained through the practice of concentration meditation, samatha bhavana. And here, to attain the megha and phala, or on the other hand, we can say to give rise the megha citta and phala citta in our mental process. What we have to practice is vipassana. If you practice samatha meditation, concentration meditation, samatha bhavana, you cannot attain the megha or phala directly. So only when that person refers to the triple-rooted individual, practice the vipassana meditation, he can attain megha or phala. Megha, phala, that after megha and then the phala will come. So for the attainment of megha, he needs to practice vipassana meditation. The object of vipassana meditation is what? Maybe some of you already practice vipassana meditation. So anyone of you can explain that. What is the object of vipassana meditation?
Nama rupa, anicca dukkha anatta.
Right, anicca dukkha anatta. Yeah. So anicca dukkha anatta, these are 3 characteristics. 3 characteristics. If you connect to the practice and trying to understand in connection with the practice, Abhidhamma study becomes more interesting. Otherwise, we explaining about the classification of consciousness, mental affairs, how they arise, all get boring, because also quite complicated. Okay, so to have more interest, let's discuss about the practice. So in order to attain the megha, the triple-rooted individual have to practice vipassana meditation. When he is practicing vipassana meditation, the object must be characteristic. Any of 3 characteristics: anicca, impermanent nature; dukkha, suffering, the nature of suffering; and anatta, non-self, the nature of a non-self. And so where can we find these 3 characteristics? Is nama and rupa, in the nama and rupa. So nama and rupa we already see. So nama belong to the consciousness and mental factor. Especially we can see that for the vipassana meditation, it should be upadana khandha. That's why nibbana will not be included here to find the characteristic. So you cannot or find the anicca or dukkha like this, the characteristic in nibbana. And only the consciousness and mental factors, especially lokiya consciousness. Lokiya consciousness, associated mental factor. If the meditator is observing any of the mentalities, we can say the mentality, what is called nama in Pali, mentality. So it can find that the nature of 3 characteristics can be found. For example, focusing on one's own akusala, the akusala consciousness is only the momentary, just arise and passed away. Arise, passed away. So it is called that the the arising is mean they come to appear, come to be. Before that, it is not really azalien, but according to the condition, the consciousness arise, come to be, come to appear. After that, it will not last long. The momentary just finished and passed away. And by seeing this nature, oh, this is anicca. This is anicca, not permanence. It's called impermanence nature. The meditator, if meditator can observe the akusala consciousness or any of the mental fetters, the same. As we have said, the consciousness and mental fetter arising together and passing away together. That's why all the consciousness and mental fetter have the impermanent nature. And also, under the process of arising and passing away, it is not happiness. It is not the everlasting happiness to enjoy. It is just the suffering. At least we call the sankhara dukkha. The nature of conditional phenomena is sankhara dukkha. So in this way, focusing on the impermanent nature, through the impermanent nature, understanding about the suffering nature, and this is just a process arising and passing away, impermanent, and suffering, not arising according to my will. There's no self for that. It's anatta nature. And in this way, focusing on mentality, the meditator, yogi, can find three characteristics and keeping his interest, his focus on any of three characteristics. The knowledge, which is called the insight knowledge, in Pali, vipassana jnana, become mature. Or if he is practicing the rupa kammatthana, focusing on the materialities. So materiality also just momentary, not only mentality. If we observe mentalities, this is very obvious. The mind is in the process, just arise and pass away. But if we focus on our body, this is materialities, group of materialities. That materiality seem to be an azalien all the time because this is my hand, this is my head. Since I was born, this is my head like this. But actually, if we can penetrate by the knowledge, everything is momentary. Even the scientists, they can identify the passing away of the cells inside the human body, replacing all the time like this. So, or if the meditator trying to penetrate by the power of insight knowledge, he see all materialities are momentary in the process. The formal, the preceding materialities passing away, arising and passing away, and the following materialities taking the place or replacing at the moment. So, that's why we know we are considering this is azalien. Actually, not azalien. This is the process. In this way, he can learn by the concentration and knowledge. So, if he could learn in this way, the insight knowledge become mature. So this is called the vipassana meditation. If someone cannot focus on mentality or materiality, not seeing any of the three characteristics, no, this is not vipassana meditation yet. Although, if he's focusing on the body or focusing on the breath or any object, and the concentration becomes stronger and stronger, that moment we can say that is the samatha meditation. So in this case, you can roughly notice that the difference between concentration meditation and insight meditation, or samatha meditation or vipassana meditation. Otherwise, people are talking about the vipassana practice, so vipassana meditation, but not knowing what is vipassana meditation, how he can identify samatha and vipassana. Although talking now, I'm the pure vipassana practitioner like this, sutta vipassana, or yogi, and there's many talking about that, but only a few can identify what is vipassana jnana. So now you have learned that through the focus or the object, we can identify, oh, this is vipassana practice, vipassana jnana. So those who are practicing that vipassana practice, vipassana meditation can be called the vipassana yogi. Otherwise, already confused. Okay, so if the triple-rooted individual practice vipassana jnana, vipassana meditation, focusing on any of three characteristics, anicca, dukkha, anatta, then the inside knowledge become mature. If it is mature enough, that before it come to the certain level, vipassana jnana coming to the certain level, and he remains in the mundane process. Mundane process, right? Mundane process referring to the kusala consciousness, because he is practicing sometimes jnana samyutta, knowing clearly, or sometimes the jnana absent, continuing, but not knowing exactly. Not knowing means know the object, but the jnana is not working at the moment. So it dropped to the jnana vibhuta jhana process. In this way, he was trying to mature his vipassana jnana, inside knowledge, focusing on the mentality and materialities, or the keeping the characteristic in the mind. Then, when it's come to the specific level to give rise to mega, so specific mental process run. So we will explain that. That is called the mega viti. And because the word viti is new, so viti is the cognitive process, the mental process, specific mental process come. They are containing their mega consciousness is called mega viti. Before that attainment of mega viti, mega process, so he just vipassana jnana process take place all the time, the many times, many hours, many days, many years, continuing. So in this way, when the certain level of concentration and the jnana knowledge come to mature, then mega consciousness arises. That the first mega is called Sotapaddi mega. So at the moment, the Sotapaddi mega consciousness arises. That individual is called Sotapaddi megathana. So the path of stream entry, the consciousness of the path of stream entry. The consciousness is the first Lokuttara consciousness. So without the practice of the vipassana meditation, the path consciousness never arrives in that process, in a mental process, never arrives. So in order to give rise the path consciousness, the path consciousness, Sotapaddi mega citta, it is necessary to have the maturity of vipassana jnana, vipassana practice. Through the vipassana practice, the consciousness, the Sotapaddi mega consciousness come to appear. Then at the moment, that individual is called Sotapaddi megathana. After that exact moment of path consciousness, then 2 or 3 mind movement arise as a fruition of path consciousness. That is called Sotapaddi Palacitta. from the time the Sotapaddi Phalacita arise, that person become the Sotapaddi Phalatthana. So we need to combine that individual and the consciousness in this case. Only one mind movement is called the Sotapaddi Megathana. After that mind movement, he become the Sotapaddi Phalatthana until the attainment of second mega, which is called Sakadagami mega. So how he attain? Again, being the Sotapaddi Phalatthana, he practiced again the Vipassana meditation, focusing on the mentality and maturities of the three characteristics. Then come again maturity. Then he attained the second mega. Mega again, that is called Sakadagami mega. At the precise mind moment of the second mega is called the Sakadagami Megathana individual. Afterward, the fruition consciousness now take place. Then he become the Sakadagami Phalatthana. In this way, all mega consciousness take place by the practice of Vipassana Jnana. Then continue practicing and attain the Anagami mega, the third mega, the third times of mega consciousness, right? That is called Anagami mega. Then individual is called Anagami Megathana. After that, the fruition individual. Then finally, the last time, the fourth time of mega arise at that time is called the Arahata Megathana. Then after that, he become the Arahat. Then for the Arahat, then Arahata Phalatthana, also they are practicing the Vipassana meditation, but not for the attainment of mega. In order to get into the fruition process, which is called Phalasamappatti, enter into the fruition process, he need to practice with the Vipassana Jnana, Vipassana practice, then enter to the fruition process. And this is the Vipassana practice, the process of Vipassana meditation and attainment of mega and phala. Then classification of individual. So noble person, Ariya Pugala, depends on this attainment. So at this moment, we can say there are only one mind movement, path consciousness. For individual of Megathana, Sotapaddi Megathana, Sakadagami Megathana, Anagami Megathana, Arahata Megathana, they are only one mind movement. That movement also already designated, already identified by the path consciousness. That's why at the moment he cannot die, because the mind movement of death is different from this. So in the Yamaka, we have the question. So the person who cannot die, and also who cannot be reborn, like this. So Paṭivedha also different from this consciousness of mega. That's why he cannot be reborn. He cannot die. Oh, what kind of individual? Yeah, that is Megathana individual. Because it's less only one mind movement. He cannot die or he cannot reborn. He cannot be reborn. So in Yamaka also very interesting question and answer system. So if you come to the advanced level, you will learn the Yamaka. Okay, so now what we are explaining is the 12 individuals, classification of individual from the beginning. So for this to become the Puthujjana, not necessary for the practice. Although you are not practicing, you become Puthujjana already. Yeah, so we can start from the Puthujjana level. And in the Puthujjana also here, Dihetuka. So you decide yourself, okay, I'm Dihetuka, I will try my best. Practicing Vipassana meditation, I will attain mega and phala in this life or next life, any life, no problem. You know that if we are on the way, we will reach to our goal one day. You know that if you are not going, you will not get in. You will not reach. That's why we have to keep ourselves in the process of practicing. In the process of practice. Okay, so here we already mentioned, just repeating, the eight noble person are divided into two types. So trainee, Sikha, and Arahat. So only the Arahat, the highest one, is called Asika. The others are still on the practice. Even the Arhata Mega, the Mega consciousness arising, given in the keeping in the process of path on the way only. So he is still trainees, 7 trainees and 1 Arahat become the 8 noble person. So this is the individual. Okay, we will take times here this lesson, so that you are not confusing, you are not lost in the way. For those who already understand, and come down and make sure you remember. For those who try to remember, keep going. Soon we will finish this lesson. Afterwards, that it will be quite difficult to repeat for yourself. When we are studying, life studying, that is encouraging you. Okay, so let's classify by the name and translation only. Here, there are how many Megacita?
4.
4. And how many Phalacita?
4.
Oh, yeah, the same name. Sotapaddi Megacita, Sotapaddi Phalacita. So the translation are like this. They are the path consciousness of stream. Is stream entry. This the spelling seems. Yeah. Stream, S-T-R-E-A-M, right? So here the E is missing. Stream entry. So this is called Sotapaddi Megacita. Then Sakadagami. Sakadagami here, if you are interested in Pali, we can divide it into 2. Second Agami, like this. And Sotapaddi also Sota Apatti. Sota is stream. Apatti is entering, like this. Apatti, entering to the stream. Stream is flowing to the Nibbana. If the person attains the first path, he's considering, okay, already get into the flow to the Nibbana. He will reach to Nibbana after the attainment of Sotapaddi Mega, not going wrong way. Not going wrong way. So at least we know that we should try to get into the stream. So by the stream you will go to Nibbana. Okay, for here Sakadagami, second Agami. Second is once, one time. Agami is returning, one who return only one time. Only one time. Where? To where? Is to the sensual world. Oh, sorry, to the especially is identified this human world, or like this. One time return to the human realm or existence, that is called the Sakadagami. Or the Anagami is not returning, so not Agami. So Agami already say one who return or one who come back. So Anagami, not Agami, not change to Ana and become Anagami. So non-returning, never come back. Never come back. So not coming to sensual plane of existence, that person. After being born here, and the Anagami, after the attainment of this Mega, the third Mega, that person reborn in the Brahma realm at least. Then never return to the sensual plane of existence. Never return mean never return to be born. Just visit is okay. visiting is okay because the one who offer the requisites to the Bodhisattva. Do you know who is that? The robe. When the Bodhisattva renounced to search for the truth, in the Buddha Vansa, in the Chronicle of the Buddha. Do you know that Brahma? Brahma.
No.
Yeah, it's called the Katikara. And also who come to request for Dhammatisana. Who is that? Have you ever heard of that? Yeah, after the attainment of enlightenment become the Buddha, and Buddha overview the condition of the beings in the world. Or the Buddha found different kinds of individual. Those are delighting in the sensual pleasure and interesting so much to get in. So then different kinds of individuals are found, and mostly the beings eyes are, so eyes of the wisdom are already covered by very thick defilements. Almost impossible to remove. The defilements layers are very thick. So the Buddha considered it is hard to let them know about the truth. That dependent origination and foreknown truth are very profound. If I give the Dhamma teaching to these kind of beings who have very thick layer of the defilement, they cannot understand. And if they are not understanding, I will try again and again. They also will not pay attention on that. Then it will be the suffering only like this. And it's better not to give a Dhamma talk in the world. Just enter into the Palasamapati here, with the process of fruition consciousness is comfortable in the life until the attainment of Nibbana. Then the Sahampati, the Brahma name is Sahampati. The Brahma came to the human world and then he requested the Buddha to preach Dhamma. Like this. So that is Brahma, the Sahampati. Those are already come from the Sudhavasa, it is said, the Katikara, and also the Sahampati. Although they are anagami, in the individual level, they are anagami, but they come to the human realm for the specific purpose. Now be reborn in the human realm or sensual realms. And also in another story, the disciple of the beloved Paṭivedha, very known as Kokalika, Bhikkhu Kokalika. Then Kokalika, he always get angry with the Beloved Sariputta and Beloved Moggallana, so two chief disciples, and getting angry and they're insulting and criticizing to these chief disciples. And his teacher is called the Tissa Brahma. Tissa Brahma already attained the Anagami level and passed away. The Kokalika does not follow his Upajaya's instruction. And continuing criticizing against the Beloved Sariputta and Moggallana, he accumulated a great deal of akusala already, following to Beloved Paṭivedha. Then later on, his Upajaya passed away and reborn in the Sudhavasa realm, and then come down to the sensual realm. To admonish his disciple of Bhikkhu Kokalika, stop against being against the chief disciple and criticizing them, and you will get trouble like this. And admonish, standing in the in this kind space, he gave admonition to his disciple. Then also the Bhikkhu Gokalika, he criticized. He talked back to his teacher, the Brahma. Oh, Buddha already said you as an Anagami. Anagami never return, never come back. Oh, you see what is what you are doing. Buddha already said you are not coming and you come back. Other than listening the good advice of his teacher, he just talked back like this. So in this case, what I want to talk is Anagami individual will not return to the sensual plane of existence as to be born as a sensual beings, but they can come to the sensual plane of existence for visit or for specific purpose. Okay, so that is called Anagami. After being born in the Brahmawa, they will not come back. And the last one, the attainment, is called the path consciousness of arhatship. So these are 4 Megha-citta. So you need to remember in Pali, Sotapaddi Megha-citta, Sakadagami Megha-citta, Anagami Megha-citta, Arhata Megha-citta. In translation, the path consciousness of stream entry, the path consciousness of one returning, the path consciousness of non-returning, and the path consciousness of arhatship, like this. Then after the attainment of path consciousness, it is the nature that fruition consciousness arises, because the fruition is result of the path consciousness. So path consciousness, kusala, or the cause, and fruition consciousness, Paṭivedha, is resultant of the consciousness, path consciousness. So Sotapaddi Megha consciousness, this is kusala, and is produced there vipaka of the fruition consciousness of Sotapaddi Phala. So this is our stream entry. In this way, 4 Megha-citta produce the 4 Phala-citta immediately after they arise. Immediately after the Megha-citta arise, and the fruition consciousness follow as a result. So this is called, that is called the akalika in the virtue of 6 virtues of the Dhamma. Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko there. The akalika is no need to wait for the time, the instant resultant. Instant resultant is this place, exactly this place. After the consciousness, the cause arise, then just after that, the Phala consciousness come into appear. That's why this is how the Megha-citta produce the Phala consciousness resultant. So if we study the cognitive process, it's become clear. So I will introduce the cognitive process as well in this lesson. And so in this lesson, we need to learn 4 Megha-citta in their name, English and Pali. So okay, wholesome and resultant here. Wholesome 4 refer to Megha-citta. Resultant 4 refer to Phala-citta. Altogether, 8 supra-mundane consciousness, Lokuttara-Citta. Okay, so in this point, normally from the sense pure beautiful consciousness group, you remember the sense pure beautiful consciousness, how many?
3.
24.
24, divided into?
Citta is 24.
Yes.
3 groups.
3 groups, kusala, vipaka, and?
Kiriya.
Kiriya, yeah. And in the same way, Rupavachara 15 also divided into 3. Arupavachara 12 also divided into 3 groups. But in the Lokuttara, only 2 groups. And you see, wholesome kusala 4, vipaka 4 only. So Megha 4, Phala 4. There's no functional consciousness in Lokuttara-Citta. You have to notice this. If you know, okay, so we come three groups like this. But for the Lokuttara-Citta, only 2 groups of Magga and Phala. Then there's no functional consciousness in Lokuttara-Citta. Why? So the reason is given here in Comprehensive Manual of Abhidhamma, page 68. Because the fruition consciousness arises when the Arahant enters fruition attainment. Okay, so let's consider about this. For the sense-pure consciousness, wholesome consciousness arises in which individual? Wholesome consciousness in the process of Puthujjana and Sikha.
Sikha.
Right? Puthujjana and Sikha, especially, the 3 fruition individual, or Sotapaddi Phalatthana, Sakaragami Phalatthana, and Nagami Phalatthana, 3 individual, and the 4 Puthujjana, the wholesome consciousness, right? Sometimes unwholesome. But for the resultant consciousness, that we mentioned that the Padisandhi moment, or Bhavanga moment, or death, duty moment, like this, and also the resultant arise in this way. But for the functional consciousness, can you talk about the what types of individual belong to the functional consciousness there?
Only Arahant.
Right. Only in the process of Arahant, the functional consciousness arises in the sense-pure beautiful consciousness. In the same way, Rupa-vachara functional, Arupa-vachara functional also arise only in the Arahant's process. So Kusala arise in the Puthujjana and Sikha. So here in Lokuttara-Citta, so let's consider if the functional consciousness arises, then this functional consciousness will arise only in the Arahant mind, right? So here, when the Arahant entered to the fruition consciousness to search for the result of the Magga, the fruition attainment, enter to the fruition attainment, only the fruition consciousness arises. So this is the resultant group. That's why there's no functional consciousness. Entering to the fruition attainment also, the fruition consciousness arises. It means this fruition consciousness can perform the function of both the functional and the resultant. That's why no need to talk about the functional consciousness. And also, the reason it's mentioned in the Abhidhamma literature that because the Magga-Citta arise after the arising of Magga-Citta, it already completed its text. Is different from the other kusala. This is the supra-mundane kusala. That's why it's that powerful to remove all the defilement, but it has to remove. That's why no need to repeat it. So this kind of function also does not have. That's why the functional consciousness cannot be found in the Lokuttara classification. So okay, in this week last study, we just review the 12 types of individual, classification of individual, and also introduction to the Vipassana meditation practice. Without the process of Vipassana meditation, we cannot understand the attainment of Magga and Phala. But in our traditional teaching, following the Abhidhamma Sangha, we just keep in mind the enumeration for Magga-Citta, and we recite and we study by heart. It is very hard. If you understand, okay, this consciousness come to appear in this process, there is also become easier. And also, And we talk about this no functional consciousness in Lokuttara-Citta. That's why other than the 12 Lokuttara-Citta, there are only 8 Lokuttara-Citta can be found by the absence of functional consciousness, functional group. Only 8. So in this way, in combination with the 81 mundane consciousness, how many consciousness altogether? 89, right?
89.
Right, 89. This is brief. So if we multiply the 8 Lokuttara-Citta by the 5 jhana, so how many Lokuttara-Citta?
40.
40, right? So this is the last enumeration. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and we will continue till the Q&A session. Thank you for your attention. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Siddhartha, for the Abhidhamma lecture. We will now be moving on to the question and answer session for everyone on Zoom. For everyone else who is attending our class via live streaming, we will be ending the live stream here. Thank you for attending. May you all be happy, healthy, peaceful, and also realize each other. Thank you.